So the next speaker will be Guido Konrad. He's the managing director of Varian. That's also a story strongly connected to ABB. I think ABB sold it to Varian, actually, a Silicon Valley company in the 80s. Then in 2020, it
21.
was...
I will talk
21,
about it.
Siemens engineer. So, but yeah, without further ado, I'm very happy that Guido Konrad takes time to present his company and how it's tied also to the history of ABB. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot for the nice introduction. Welcome everybody here in the auditorium. It's getting less people between you and the weekend, so I try to be fast with my presentation. As Professor Anne already said, I'm Guido Konrad. I'm the managing director of Varian Medical Systems Imaging Lab, which I need to say is a Siemens Healthiness company. So we are in the midst of an identity transition. Therefore, you see during my presentation a mix of different logos on this page and on the products. And even if the name of our legal entity says Varian, we are Siemens Healthineers. When I was invited to speak in front of that auditorium, I was asked to explain why a company focused on medtech can successfully grow in Baden, especially when compared to other locations. And I've taken this challenge and I try to approach the beast from two different directions. First, I will share why we have been able to thrive in Baden rather than in any other town, or what the challenges have been. And second, I try to explore our strategies for continuing this success in a globally operating corporate group. And ring bells now what Nora Theusen told at the end, right? It's quite similar with us. I will approach it historically, so I hope after the speech today you will not feel too much as being in a history lesson. But so before we go there, I will give you an introduction, a quick insight into our company. We are a global leader transforming cancer care. And while scale matters, what matters more is what scale makes possible. So we are 73,000 employees with presence in more than 70 countries and partnerships with over 90% of the world's leading hospitals. So we bring not just technology, we bring trust. Our radiation oncology business continues to grow currently, over 10,000 installed linear accelerators and more than 140,000 software users worldwide. Our Net Promoter Score of 88 tells us we know our partners, they will rely on us, and they advocate for us. But the number, and I really like to say that the number we hold ourselves most accountable to, we call it patient touchpoints. Over 23 million patient touchpoints every year. Every single touchpoint is a great opportunity to make care more efficient, more precise, and more accessible, and ultimately to create more hope. We are not only a global leader in healthcare and cancer care, we also operate with a truly global footprint, supported by a network of engineering sites. Each location is committed to excellence in its domain, driving innovation, efficiency, and continuous improvements. Collaboration is and must be at the heart of our success. None of our achievements in Baden can be attributed to a single site. They are all the results of a collective expertise and shared ambition. So let me zoom in now and focus on one site in particular, our location in Baden-Württemberg. So this is a snapshot on where we stand today. Nora already mentioned it partly. We are around 410 employees with roughly 70% being engineers. Half of our talents come from university, 35% from applied science school and a reminder from other higher educational backgrounds. Looking ahead, we expect the share of university graduates to increase. Geographically, around half of our people are based in Canton Aargau and the other half coming from Zurich and other regions. Important point, our infrastructure. 15% of our office space is dedicated to labs. We operate 4 MV bunkers, MV megavolt bunkers, and 7 kV cells, specialized, very specialized environments for high energy X-ray systems. A kV cell, for example, can host a CT scanner, and an MV cell, it's built with a lot of concrete and LED doors that can house a radiotherapy machine, which is producing high energy X-rays. So this is where we are today, and now let's start with the history lesson. Now let's take a moment to look back and understand how we got there. Our story begins with BBC, like a lot of other companies here, we learned it, who developed pioneering radiotherapy devices. A lot of people don't know linear accelerators or LINACs treated the first patient at University Hospital in Zurich already in 1951. It was at that time a major milestone in cancer care. 1988, BBC merged with ASEA, and at that time, ABB made a strategic decision to exit radiotherapy, and so we got sold to Varian in 1990. That business at that time consisted of 24 engineers, a lot of patents, a lot of knowledge, a lot of expertise, and a lot of motivation. Varian already had its own LINAC technology, so they haven't bought us, they haven't acquired us for really that LINAC hardware. They bought us for one very specific reason. It's visible here. At that time, Varian had no imaging technology, and they recognized the need to integrate this capability into its solution. And BBC, on the other hand, had developed, and this is the data sheet, we still have it in paper in the office, they had developed an advanced MV imaging system. So, and it's quickly explained, you see on the top, you see that place where the high energy X-ray beam comes out of the machine, and below the treatment couch, there is the MV imager, which is put under the patient to essentially detect the position at the patient. So it helps to accurately hit the tumor and space the surrounding healthy tissue. So you can guess what happened. We stepped away from developing our own linear accelerator, and instead we focused on advancing imaging technology in Baden. And this at that time marked our first transformation. A strategic shift that redefined our role in radiotherapy. And as a result, and this was significant, in 2003 we won the R&D 100 Award, a very prestigious one for our onboard imager. In the same year, we established ourselves as an independent GmbH, so we became Varian Medical Systems Imaging Laboratory GmbH. And on top of that, in 2003, we made the deliberate and strategic decision to relocate to Baden-Detwil. This presented certain challenges for sure, but it also unlocked quite significant advantages. So we had, as a branch of Varian International headquartered in Zug, we had also been moving to Zug. Consolidation of location could have been the obvious choice, but a different path was chosen. So for the relocation to Detwil, we ensured that the building that was purposely built for our needs, including radiation-safe bunkers in the basement. So if you visit us, you will see really a lot of concrete in the basement. While these historical roots, we have been rooted in Baden, certainly influenced the decision. It was not simply about staying close in Baden. The move was a strategic choice to secure the infrastructure and capabilities required for advanced radiotherapy development, and long-term innovation. What people sometimes forget, we are based in the Greater Zurich area. We get offered all the benefits of proximity without the high costs. Our lease remains quite reasonable, and if you consider it, Zurich is 25 minutes away, the airport 35 minutes, and you can reach Bern in, I would say, less than an hour. So our office is strategically positioned, excellent accessibility to public transportation and car. And here, as a side note, very fresh from the press, this prime location was a very important factor in a recent decision to establish our site in Baden-Württemberg as an official Siemens Healthineers Customer Experience Center. In the future, we open in September this year. Thank you. We all know the challenge, right? Assessing or attracting top talents. So we are located in Greater Zurich area, which gives us an excellent access to highly skilled professionals, including graduates from the ETH Zurich. And here, a short anecdote, because for years, and it happened not only once, the candidates, they asked, why are you located so far out in the woods? But, once they join, they quickly discover the truth, what I already mentioned in my previous slides. So there's a very strong link to Greater Zurich. The airport, Zurich, and other cities are in close reach. And again, as a side note, a beautiful forest behind the building, perfect for sports and relaxation during lunch break. And as a Baden fan and also living close to Baden, it's a great place to live. I can tell you, really from my own experience. Our business thrives on partnerships with leading universities and customers. So our location allows us to closely work with top local universities and customers, for example, Zurich and Bern, and also to collaborate internationally. And last but not least, if we look at the components which we put into our machines, 3 out of every 4 parts come from a Swiss supplier. And I'm talking here about the components we do in Baden, not globally. And half of all our orders are fulfilled from the Canton Aargau. So that supply chain has been proven over years that it's efficient, resilient, and ready to respond. And here the proximity helps for sure. Sometimes when something is going wrong, the engineer gets in the car and is at a supplier within 10-15 minutes. And important to mention here, the decades of collaboration resulted in very trustful relationships. One of these standout products developed at our site, which benefits on these supplier advantages, is HyperSight. If you Google it, a revolution in resolution, they say. It's not comparable to the resolution Christian Brönimann showed you before, but a revolution in resolution designed really to improve the ability to precisely target tumor volumes and increase sparing healthy tissues during treatment. Improved image quality through enhanced contrast resolution, artifact suppression, and reduced non-uniformity. HyperSight is a Baden product. We consider HyperSight as a huge success story. Now, HyperSight is an imaging solution. It was released shortly after we combined with Siemens Healthineers. And now you know what Siemens Healthineers is. Siemens Healthineers is known to offer a comprehensive and cutting-edge imaging portfolio, seamlessly combining advanced hardware with AI-driven software and digital services. And I still remember, because at that time I took over the job as a managing director. Guess what happened? Shortly after the combination, voices in the company started speculating if the technology of our site is still needed. So we had somehow to act, right? So we So we thought what to do, and at that time we took a decisive step to redefine who we are. That slide was shared all over Baden, and to everybody who wanted to see it and even did not want to see it. So it really helped that we build on our strengths and amplified what truly differentiates us. Foundation still remains strong. Imaging, our roots are still our core strengths, but now we made a important distinction. Imaging for treatment, planning, and positioning is not the same than diagnostic imaging. That clarity allowed us to focus. We are radiotherapy expert. That means a patient-centric approach and excellence in the radiotherapy workflow. And our labs, they now play even a bigger role with the integration. We bring hardware and software together, and leveraging our advanced test infrastructure, we integrate individual components into complete, robust solutions. So in short, we sharpened our focus and identity and positioned ourselves with clarity and purpose in the company to strengthen our leadership position. So now, having redefined who we are and strengthened our core, the next step is ensuring that our innovation engine remains powerful and sustainable in these high-cost environments, Switzerland. To achieve this, we need a strategic approach that balances quality with cost efficiency without compromising on our ability to lead in the radiotherapy innovation. Brings me to my last chapter, our strategies. And I tell you no news now. I think a lot of companies kind of use these strategies. Our first priority is to capitalize on our hybrid R&D model, a strategic framework that keeps co-innovation and expertise in Switzerland while optimizing cost efficiency through global resource integration. And certainly an essential strategic priority is to concentrate on high-value innovation, like Hypersight, for example. Initiatives that deliver distinguished differentiation and robust intellectual property. So we must make sure that every investment drives a sustainable competitive advantage and leads to long-term market leadership. I already mentioned it. Partnerships, strategic partnerships with universities, startups, research clusters enable us to tap into specialized expertise and accelerate innovation cycles for faster time to market. And last but not least, and that's in everybody's mouth and agenda at the moment, and it didn't stop kind of in front of us, embracing the digitalization and automation. That's using it as a strategic imperative to enhance efficiency and optimize costs. So we leverage advanced technologies such as AI, and with that we can streamline operations and significantly boost our productivity, but also, and that's very important, we integrate this cutting-edge hardware with AI-driven software, and with that we elevate the value of our products quite significantly. So we deliver superior performance and differentiation in the market. So with that, we are well positioned to thrive in Switzerland's high-cost environment while we ensure that the innovation pipeline of us remains state-of-the-art and future-ready. Coming to my last slide, and that's the most important one, as we look ahead, we have to all remember that our success will not be defined by strength, nor intelligence, but by our willingness to adapt, evolve, and embrace change with purpose. Or in the words of Charles Darwin, he said, it's not the strongest species that survive, it's not the most intelligent, but really it's the most responsive to change. And with that, I want to close. Thanks a lot for your curiosity.
Many thanks. Another great example of this ecosystem. Maybe just a brief follow-up question because we are supposed to close at 4. But I mean, when I look at the quote of Charles Darwin, responsive to change, when Varian was taken over by Siemens health engineers, there's always also a culture. Is there also a cultural clash? Is the responsiveness also determined by the openness of the new owner to let the company still decide on its own?
Yes. So there was a distinguished decision in 2021 when Siemens Healthineers, because shortly beforehand they took over the kind of the ultrasound business, and they knew at that time it was very difficult because they really tried to kind of completely kind of swallow the company and kind of, do everything kind of to make them Siemens Healthineers. With Varian, it happened really very slowly. It happened kind of very, very kind of, thoughtful. So still we are not fully integrated. The identity transition is going on at the moment, but I feel kind of that they learned a lot with you in the past and now, so everybody feels very welcomed and basically kind of culturally, how do you say it in English, abgeholt,
Yeah. Fantastic. Thanks so much. I don't think we have time. Or is there an urgent question you want to ask?
Otherwise, I will stay here, so it can be addressed offline,
That's also an announcement. Afterwards, we have in Almodo, we are offering a drink, as not here, but in Almodo. Or was I saying it wrongly?
But, well, Philip will stay here for a little bit longer, and if anyone wants to have a networking drink or something, it's not part of the program, but they will have the bar already open upstairs where we had lunch. So it's up to you.
But before we raise your appetite, we have a last speaker.
Yes.
Varian Prague. She's from the...
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.